So here is the video of the object. Um, I was already looking at clouds. I'll put some of my cloud pictures in there here. But it was interesting seeing this thing. Now, I had my AX53 4K camera. I didn't have my tripod. So there's two things. One is it's shaky because my hands. And the other thing is the AX53 has the floating lens. So at certain points, I would stop and the lens floats back and forth. Now, in spite of that, I did get some fairly decent video, and I'll put it at the beginning of this. What was interesting, and I don't know if this is a video artifact or what, but there was kind of a shape around that. I've seen some odd things. I watch the clouds all the time, and I've seen some pretty odd things. Haven't seen anything like this. When I first saw it, I thought it might be a star, and then I got to thinking, well, it's not flickering, so that would mean it would have to be a planet. When I kind of stepped through this, the shape's kind of interesting, and the dark objects here and here, not sure what they are. They may be video artifacts. I don't know. They seem to move a little bit, and that motion that you're seeing is from the AX53 from the lens. It's actually fairly in focus. Now, there's really thin clouds up here. I'm actually facing west, southwest. That's 7 o'clock in the evening. That was kind of interesting. Now, what's really interesting, and get in a bit closer, this is really, really interesting. Um, the light part, this thing, when I looked at it, didn't appear to be moving. And the entire time, it didn't, from my perspective, it really didn't seem to move at all. And it was just kind of sitting there, but it was really bright. But when I got closer, it had this dark area here. I don't know if that's a body around it or whatever. And of course, later on the news, they said it wasn't a weather balloon. Of course, that was interesting. That black object there kind of appear. And there's other things, some of which are probably pixels or video artifacts that appear around it. I've got some interesting things happening there. Up a little bit. There we go. All right. I'm in pretty close. So that's kind of interesting there. I wish I could get this full screen so that I could do it. I was doing it earlier. It wasn't in quite this close. And there's things like this that appear next to it. The silver, let's see if I get this lined up. And there was what was interesting. There were a couple times when the color shifted. Now, that could be a result of the clouds. It could be a result of the screen here too. Here's one of the, now these, I don't know if this is a video artifact or what. There were several of these that kind of appear, disappear. They're usually close to this, usually at the side, either on this side or that side. Of course, this is the type of thing that I do when I should be doing something else. Now, that's interesting. Kind of a shape to it. I don't know. I don't think any kind of balloon would be sitting there almost not moving. Saw another video where it was observed to actually be moving. I watched it for an hour, half hour. It didn't move. And some of this right here, I think, are clouds. They were real thin, just real thin haze. Now this AX53 that I've got, I can actually pick up 3 moons of Jupiter. They look like pinheads, but I can get them. I kept watching this black area here. And here is almost like something was moving. And there's two more of the silver objects that kind of appear and disappear with it. I've gotten things like that before on some of my other videos. I'd watched a thing on sky fishing one time on the rods that people were seeing, and I actually have some of those in some video. It's hard to tell though when I'm zooming in like this if that's part of the actual video or if it's something that's being created by electronic noise or something by the camera. This is kind of interesting. There were things that would appear and disappear at the sides. And this shape, when I first looked at it, it almost looked like it was round. It looked like I was looking at a jellyfish from underneath. And see this area here, this black area here, this one here, but this one almost seems to like flutter or turn. You can see it there. Keep an eye on this right here because it does move. It's interesting. I do this with storms too. I don't do it very often because I have things to do. Now here's one of the little things here. I don't know if that's a video artifact or not. Sometimes they're cylindrical when they appear. And this fringe around that coloring, that might be the clouds. This black area here, and this one doesn't move quite as much. That one seems to move a little bit. Like a beanie on a hat. Now this motion, the object wasn't moving. That's me. And the AX53's floating lens. I thought that was going to be a really good idea when I bought that camera. The camera's phenomenal. It's great. And it really does. That's interesting. How that shape kind of get the cursor out of the way. That's kind of interesting. So watch that. Hmm. Definitely does seem to be moving around the edge. Right there's where it went out of focus. That was the high altitude clouds. I got dark areas, just kind of a shadow. They're on the right side. Between the that black dot that appeared, I thought was a bird, but it appears and disappears in one frame. So I'm not sure what this is. But it's there and back. It could be a bird, and there could be a little bit more of a cloud, but you can see the clouds there. But right through here, that cloud's thin enough that you should be able to see a bird, and usually birds have linear motion. You'd see them, and that just appears and disappears. And at the same time, there's something right here. Take that back. There it is. Yep, wish I had that tripod. All right, so I'll throw a few clouds in and see how this goes.